Cheers.
Cheers.
Brought my La Marca.
We both have it ready to go.
Always.
Cheers, cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of Tea Time with Mel and Jay. I'm Jay.
I'm Mel.
And we're so excited to be here today. Obviously, things look a little bit different than they have with us because we are not together. But that's okay. We have each other. We have our La Marca.
Always getting us through this pandemic.
Now, so we've decided to change things up a little bit. Like we mentioned, things are going to change episode to episode, but specifically for episode 3, we decided it would be a great idea to find a Hallmark Christmas movie that was somehow, some way related to sports.
Yes.
And we were successful. So we found Love at the Palace, which was made in 2018. And yeah, it's about a former 3-time world champion figure skater and her BFF. And they're in, where are they again?
San Sonova. Nondescript town somewhere in Europe.
Basically a snow globe of Christmas exploding everywhere.
Yes.
But they're there for a competition, and then, long story short, they end up at the palace. They end up putting on this crazy pageant, or try to, or they do, who knows. That's what happened in the movie. And basically, that's all wrapped up in a bow. What happened?
Very easy, very simple, very Hallmark.
Very.
Love to see it.
Love to see it. But yeah, so the starring role for the female, the 3-time world champion figure skater, Merritt Patterson. She is one of my all-time favorite Hallmark movie actresses. She is just timelessly beautiful.
Yes.
And probably one of the better actors. We all know that Hallmark isn't really well known for their dramatic acting ability, but I like her. I really do like her. She's been in other movies, and as we both know, we both love a good Hallmark movie.
Love a good Hallmark movie. I mean, you come to Hallmark to feel good, to feel relaxed, to get into whatever seasonal spirit it is, because as we know, we're currently in Countdown to Christmas right now. What are we, it's December 4th, so we're in day 4 of Countdown to Christmas.
Countdown to Christmas started before Halloween.
Oh my God, you're right.
It started before Halloween.
I forgot. I'm a bad Hallmarkie.
My goodness gracious. So yeah, we're in Countdown to Christmas. We're like deep into it. There's still premieres. There's still reruns happening. This one that we watched today, we had to stream. I'm telling you, Hallmark does not make it easy to find a movie if you want to watch a movie.
I know. It's so funny. I mean, shout out to my coworker and girl, Laura, for helping us find this movie. Because, I mean, other than if you have the Hallmark Channel app, I think we could probably watch it on there. But I'm living at home at my parents' house, and I don't have access to that.
You can't.
You can't?
You can, like, if you pay $6 a month, you can probably get it. But whatever. That's just too much effort for a Hallmark movie. Although some are very good, but this one.
When they're streaming all day, it's tough to want to pay $5.
I know. I know. Also, another thing.
We're okay.
Yeah, we're okay. Before we dive into what we thought of this movie, we definitely have things to say about it. Before we dive in, I just want to say, I think that Hallmark has definitely a hole to fill here, because as we're trying to find a movie to review from Countdown to Christmas, honestly, regardless of the year, going back to even the 2010s, we didn't need to have a recent movie.
Yep.
There are really essentially no Hallmark Christmas movies with a sports plot. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, it was so interesting because I would have thought there would be more skating movies or maybe a professional skier you know, they have the winter movies, but it
Hockey.
wasn't holiday centric,
Yeah.
you know, which was really interesting. And I know they love to do the royal movies around the holidays, which is always a mystery to me because I don't really think royal when I think of Christmas. I love where we go, where we get transported to like Mistletoe Town
Oh yeah, me too.
or like Sleigh Town Road, you know, something silly like that. But it was interesting that they didn't have like, I don't know, hunky football player comes home for Christmas and has to choose between career and love. You know, it was interesting. There was definitely a hole there.
Definitely a hole. And also hockey. Why couldn't you find
Yeah.
a movie about hockey teams or women's hockey, men's hockey, or curling or whatever? There's tons, right? I love a good curl match. Tons of winter sports that you can definitely have a love storyline, a Christmas storyline, an outdoor like winter festival, hot chocolate town storyline. That's missing, and I'm very upset about it.
I know. And it's so interesting because I feel like definitely the Hallmark universe, I feel like they're sports fans. I feel like a good
For
Hallmark
sure.
loves her Sunday football, loves his Monday night football, basketball. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, hey, you know, loves his hockey. So it's interesting that there's not more of that. And it's more like, you know, woman leaves her, you know, big corporate job in the city, or single father, you know, finds love with the cookie person downtown. You know, it's like, it's very
The
interesting.
town baker.
Yeah, exactly. The cookie person. Um, so I definitely think it would be cool, hey Hallmark, to throw in some sports centric movies. I mean, maybe it would get, not that guys don't love Hallmark, but maybe it would broaden their I don't know, their viewership.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, totally. Totally. So now that we've reviewed basically what we think is missing from the Hallmark repertoire, let's dive into how we feel about Love at the Palace.
Love at the Palace. Yeah.
Love at the Palace. So do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I mean, I can start it out. I think
Okay.
that you and I, you know, universally thought about the movie. It's like, great, Hallmark, we love to see it. We know it's formula, you know, you kind of love Hallmark because you know what to expect and it's
Right.
comfortable.
Yep.
So it's not, you're not getting too many surprises. But I think a big surprise for us was the lack of ice skating in this movie.
Yeah.
I was like, kind of like, what the heck? Like, this is all about this Olympian, 3-time world champion, almost Olympian, figure skater, you know, who has to kind of step in and is supposed to be the lead in this show. But, you know, obviously it centers on her relationship with the king. But I really would have loved to see some actual athleticism, some skating, and I know Hallmark's budgets might be tight. I know that their production time is tight, but I think that would have been a cool thing to have a Love on Ice actually about like love on ice.
Well, they do have the Love on Ice movie that's in their Winterfest.
Oh, not love. Oh my gosh, Christmas at the Palace.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm thinking they are in love on ice.
No, they totally are. But at the same time, I agree with you. We signed up for this movie knowing it's about a former ice skating champion,
Hmm.
thinking, okay, there's gonna be ice skating. There
Yeah.
really was not a ton of ice skating. And it
No.
was just, I don't know, it was just the royal Christmas movies, they're all the same. So it was more like the royal ones with the king and the princess and the aunt that's the princess also, and then a lot. And it just didn't fit into a sports type or any sort of figure skating. Really, it just was
Right.
the royal ones, which we have said from day one.
Yeah.
Those are a no-go.
I mean, definitely for us. I think also because they've done the royal movie. You know, they've done the princess, they've done the king, they've done, you know, this. It's like why can't we get something that really is athletic and shows, you know, female athletes and highlights, you know, the struggles of being a female athlete. I mean, we kind of delve into it a little bit within like the discussion between the two of them,
Yeah.
where she's like, you gave up, being an ice skater because it was hard, so why not having her, like, yes, she conquers her fear at the end, spoiler alert, but really kind of looking into that struggle a little bit more, and maybe having it not necessarily fueled by the king. Like,
Yeah, it's
having
definitely,
it be more of her internal, like, I'm gonna do this.
yeah, it totally was fueled by the king. And I'm all those movies, if I come across them on Hallmark and for some reason I start to watch them, I turn them off because I just can't get into this palace. I can't get into the king. I can't get into like his assistant that's just like running around with seemingly an iPad. I'm like, I can't get into it. And that's how I felt when I was watching this movie. And I knew I was going to feel that way, but I had a glimmer of hope prior to watching it because I knew that there was that sports element that was supposed to be woven in. And
Right.
it was an underwhelming aspect of the movie. I was really disappointed, like you just said, that I was disappointed that it wasn't there.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe we have wishful thinking, that that Hallmark will, kind of like flip the script on us of, a classic Christmas movie, maybe reaching beyond the relationship, like reaching into character and passion and career,
Yeah.
which, I don't know, it could be an interesting twist. We get a lot of the same formula, which works. So obviously, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But I don't know, I think it could lend, an extra added layer, especially with sports, because there are so many winter sports to be celebrated, and especially women in sports, that I think this could be a really great thing for Hallmark to kind of pick up, to broaden their viewership, to give something a little new to their network.
Yeah, for sure. Totally. Totally. But
But
so I'm watching this Christmas at the Palace and I'm just I'm very bored. Like I said, movies like this that center around a royal family, regardless if it's the queen, the princess, the king. This time the main royal person ended up being the king, and of course his wife died. Of course he has a 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old daughter that's been distraught.
very
Of course,
ambitious.
because that's classic Hallmark.
Yeah.
Fine, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But I can't get into the big palace, the crazy decorations, the like crazy wooden rooms that they have in every single room of the palace.
Yeah.
But what gave me life was them planning this whole thing, and then the one girl, the second main woman who was going to be the queen in the pageant, played
Jessica.
by Jessica, her name, actor Brittany Bristow,
Yes.
when she was like, I have to go back to New Jersey. Mind you, we didn't say that. They're from New Jersey and they're in this like European town.
I'm dead.
I'm
They're
dead.
like, we're buying an ice rink in Trenton. Like, I am from New Jersey.
Yeah.
And it was giving me life. Like, thank you so much, Hallmark, for putting a family in New Jersey. Like,
Yeah.
it was the greatest joy.
But she literally was like 3 days before the pageant, she's like, I have to go to New Jersey. I have to buy this ring. No, she just leaves. And they're like, what? What? And then Merritt Patterson, Katie, is like, I guess I have to put my skates back on and stand in for you. And then
Never does.
they needed each other to buy the ring. They're like, we can't do this without each other. And she left.
Which is like completely unprofessional. I'm sorry, you made it seem like they were getting a hefty check from the palace.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it would be like to do that in real life. Obviously, it's Hallmark, so we'll let it slide. Yeah. But I was like, you're really gonna leave 3 days before?
It gave me life. That gave me life. When Katie, Merritt Patterson, left, it gave me life. I was actually one snooze away from falling asleep. It brought me back.
It was a good twist, I will say. It was a very good twist.
Yeah. So then they show up in New Jersey and they're like, all right, cool. We already had this ring purchased. Remember, they didn't even do any, when she arrived, there was no like conversation with a real estate agent. She goes to, here's the keys, this giant like janitor key ring of keys. I was like, what do you need all those keys for?
What's happening? What are you unlocking?
What are you
Every
unlocking?
locker in the place?
Like, it just was wild to me because they didn't even have a conversation with like a real estate agent. So it seemed like she already bought it. So then why did she even leave San Sanova to meet her friend there to buy the ring if she already bought it? A lot was amiss.
Jackie, it's called drama.
Oh,
That's what it's called.
well, I am not versed in this. And I guess the royal ones bring in a different type of drama than if you were on Mistletoe Lane and Santa went missing the day before the hot chocolate contest or whatever.
The snowman making contest.
The gingerbread house
snowball fight of the town.
Not those classic things. It was a pageant, but like to me, a pageant is not something that happens like with people skating on ice, which we didn't even see any skating. So
I know, those poor villagers, they really needed their time to shine. So they had in the movie, they had these skaters who were the villagers of the town, because the pageant is really a celebration of the town's history that hasn't been put on for years and years since the king's father had passed away, who had been the king of Christmas. And they always call this new king the Grinch King. So basically, the whole movie kind of centers around the king trying to fix his image and trying to, make people believe that he's not, a Grinchy king. So his daughter says, well, why don't we put on this, pageant and celebrate the town, and, you'll have a chance to restore your image. She's very adept for her age, very impressive. So that's kind of where it comes from, but they really only had these poor villagers as the skaters. I was like, I want to see them. I want to see their axles and spins and spirals and things like that. Like, give me some skating.
Yeah, they did not give you that. They didn't give you that. So we kind of were left like clawing at it because we're like, where was the figure skating? We chose this movie because of that aspect, and it wasn't there. They did, obviously, there was 2 love stories that happened, which was
a plus. That usually doesn't,
right.
It happens. The friend always sort of falls in love, but this track was a little more highlighted than it is in most of the Hallmark movies.
Very true. Well, to say they fell in love in 12 days, it's like, it was worse than that. When I'm watching, I'm like, this is worse than The Bachelorette. Like, God.
Well, I was kind of like, okay. So I was actually thinking The Bachelorette as well. I was like, at least give us a month so that they fall in love. But the one friend who moved, Jessica, who moves back to New Jersey, like, we're supposed to believe that the king's helper has fallen in love with her so much that he leaves San Sanova to move to Trenton, New Jersey.
Trenton, New Jersey.
I'm dead.
He's like, I've never smelled something so bad. He's like,
what is New Jersey? So I'm allowed to say.
What is that stank?
No, New Jersey's beautiful. I love it.
Trenton?
What?
What, Trenton?
Trenton, it's the capital. So,
okay, cool.
We got to give it some respect.
Yeah. Listen, I'm all about New Jersey. Listen, yeah. I get it. However, if I'm living in a snow globe Christmas town,
yeah,
I'm not going to go to New Jersey. However, love makes you do crazy things. We don't know what she was feeling. She fell in love so fast and so deeply. She just, actually, no, it was the guy. He fell in love so fast and he had to make the move. She was already going back.
He was like, I'm in Jersey, dude. Bye.
Bye.
No, I think overall, it was a sort of a miss for us, but definitely a movie that you can throw on. You can, kind of like chill and relax and watch. Like, I'm very excited to see what Hallmark has still coming for us with Countdown for Christmas. Some of them have been real gems this year.
It's one you can put on to go to bed.
Yes. This is like a very chill one. You're like, it could kind of be background noise. You know, you want some Christmassy scenes on the TV while you're working,
Yeah.
you know, hanging with family.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that. I wouldn't even want to do that with this one, to be honest with you. I just was so bored. Like, I'm bored as a board,
Hmm.
but
Well, the royal ones can be a little tough. That's for sure.
yeah, definitely not into the royal one. I was disappointed to find out that the other two sports ones we were interested in reviewing, Love on Ice
Love on Ice, which I said before.
and Love on the Slopes and Ice Dreams.
Hmm.
All three of those are just part of Winterfest, so there's no Christmas aspect. And I definitely wanted to have Christmas involved because I've been talking about it on my Get in the Zone segments on Instagram. And I wanted to just tie it in here because we're in the thick of the holiday season. It's definitely a
Yeah.
hard time still for everybody, especially for the holidays during this pandemic that we're still in. So
Yeah.
I
I
wanted
mean,
to pick a Christmas one.
yeah, and I mean, heck yeah, I'm grateful for Hallmark because, especially right now, because
Yeah.
it kind of does let you escape into a world of hot chocolate and snow and Christmas trees and wrap jackets and white scarves.
And
I
also,
really want to know who has the jackets? Who's the costume department? Can you send us a wrap jacket? Like, I would love.
nice gray one with like
Yes, a
thick
nice gray
collar.
or a red.
I would like a gray, thick collar, nice tie here.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, yeah, I get that. But you know what? I also, with this one, I just didn't feel the Christmas. I didn't feel it. I felt like there were so many other aspects of it. Like a major part of it, like kept coming up, which was buying this rink. And like, what about the skaters?
Right.
Like, what about, and then there was no skating. I mean, like, there's a focus on getting all the right people, but then we didn't even see it. So I just was taken out of the whole Christmas thing. Like, I didn't feel jolly inside after I watched this, which I normally do after I watch a Hallmark Christmas movie. So I didn't
Yeah.
feel that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it was a tough one for me. And I think, you know, the whole kind of premise was, you know, her bringing Christmas to the palace,
right.
really in the title. And I don't know if that actually happened.
No.
You know what I mean? Because we didn't see enough of the pageant.
Right.
There wasn't, normally there's a montage of them decorating. We did get a tree, which was, you know, quintessential Hallmark, but, you know, so there were little things sprinkled in there,
Yeah.
but it didn't have, you know, that kind of like glowy magic that some of the Hallmark movies have, you know?
I definitely miss that. And I think that's something that's consistent with most of the royal ones, which is
Yeah.
probably the reason that I'm less into them. But not gonna generalize. This one definitely just wasn't our favorite.
Wasn't our cup of cocoa,
Wasn't
which is
our cup of
okay. There are plenty that are, and I will never stop watching Hallmark
Oh,
until the
me
day I
neither.
die.
No, same. I mean, there's still premieres happening for 2020 Countdown to Christmas. So, but
Mhm.
guys, that being said, should we give our champagne flute rating?
Yes, we should.
Okay,
You want to go first?
I'll go first. So this one, honestly, I'm giving it 1.5 champagne flutes because I just was not, it just wasn't for me. It wasn't for
It
me.
was
Like,
not your, yeah, it was not your cup of cocoa. It was not your glass of champagne.
and like, there was not enough of like the town center. There was not enough of Christmas. There was not enough of ice skating. If they added all those three things, like pumped those up and pumped down other things, I think I
Yeah.
would have liked it more. But 1.5 stars from me. I still love Hallmark. Live, love, laugh, Hallmark. Not for Christmas at the Palace. What about you?
Christmas at the Palace definitely missed its mark a little bit. I mean, I can't complain too much about any Hallmark movie because it did the job. I am relaxed. Yes, I was a little sleepy, but I was definitely relaxed. So I would give it a 2.5. Just because I loved the coats. Both of the lead actresses are beautiful.
Beautiful.
They were fabulous in this film. The king was not too bad himself. I just do
Down
think
from me.
that I know not your cup of tea.
Not my type. That's okay.
But I would say that I think because the reason we picked it was to see some sort of, athleticism. I think for that, I can't give it more stars because there just wasn't enough of that. It wasn't kind of like her struggle to come back to skating after leaving the sport. I kind of wish there was a little bit more of that. So with that, I'm going to give it 2.5.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with things that were lacking. Great. Well, I hope people still watch it, even though
I know.
But so last time, episodes 1 and 2, we gave our opinions of what we thought somebody close to or related to the Bradshaw Bunch would think of the Bradshaw Bunch. Like me, I gave Michael Strahan what I thought he would say about it, and you gave Andy Cohen, Bravo,
yes,
what he would say about the Bradshaw Bunch. So now that we've reviewed something different, we are going to be changing our perspective of who is going to give their thoughts.
Yeah, who's weighing in here?
Hypothetical thoughts on Love at the Palace.
Yes.
So I can go first.
Sure.
So what I'm going to give is Adam Rippon. We all remember him from the 2018 Winter Olympics. What a star. What a star. He's definitely known for his outlandish and vibey attitude, as well as the quotes he gives. So that being said, he's a figure skater. So that being said, I think he would agree with us that there wasn't enough skating, and he would literally clap his hands and say, people, get it together. We need to have some, like a triple axel here. We need to have, I don't know the terms. I'm not a skater. But he would start yelling out different moves that should be included to like really up the ante on the skating portion of this movie. And I think he would have a lot to say about like the design of the whole thing, just knowing how he is as a personality. And as far as with Katie's issues of not wanting to really get involved in skating anymore. So he's known for, I don't know if you guys remember the quote, one of the quotes he said, like being, how do you not get nervous for all this? And he basically is like wanting to go over to the judges and be like, can I just pop a Xanax and like have a drink and like everything's going to be cool. So I think that's what he would say. Just pop a Xanax, have a drink, get over your fears and like get out there on the ice.
Yes, I think, he's super vivacious and avant-garde and such a big personality that I think he would expect that, like figure skating is larger than life and elegant and beautiful and loud. And I think the movie definitely needed a little bit of that.
Yeah. So that's what he would say. What about
and speaking of loud and elegant, 2 words synonymous with one of my favorite Real Housewives of New York, Jill Zarin. She is one of my all-time favorite housewives. And in season 3, she decides, which is classic Jill, just like, everybody come watch me, and very like, avant-garde. I think she and Adam Rippon would get along.
I agree.
She decides to invite everyone, all the housewives and their friends, to a skating party at Bryant Park. And she decides to don a skating outfit and do a little routine in the middle of the Bryant Park skating rink, which is hilarious. So, if you're a Real Housewives fan like me, Jill Zarin. She is quintessential New York. And I think she would have said the same as us, like, where are the skaters? Where is the skating? This is a Christmas movie? Where's the skaters? I don't know. Like, what's happening? This is a skating? Like, where's the figure skaters? I think she would have been like, I don't know. I think that she would have really expected them to show up, show out, and make a spectacle. So
Yeah.
That's what I think she would say.
I agree. I mean, we're both saying the same thing as well. So I think
Yeah.
all of our people, you, Mel, me, Jay, our friend Adam, our friend Jill, we all say the same things, but there's just a little more, you know.
It needed spice. It needed a little bit of spice.
It needed a little bit of spice.
Yeah.
All right.
That was fun.
We've done it again.
We've done it again.
We did it again. We
Love
finished
Hallmark.
episode 3 of Tea Time.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure out what we're going to review next. It's not going to be the Bradshaw Bunch. It's not going to be a Hallmark movie.
It's not gonna be a royal Hallmark movie, that's for sure.
Maybe we can do a Winterfest movie. We'll have to see.
Hey, let's keep it on the table.
We'll have to keep everybody on their toes.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for chatting. This was fun.
Cheers. Everybody enjoy.
Cheers.
Arla Marca. Cheers.